Hello there, this is BEZ reporting for KB Toast Talk, and I thought I'd do a quick video on the breaking news that was made, I think yesterday, which is that Barnsley have reappointed Daniel Stendel as their manager. Obviously on the last couple of League One predictions, both myself and Lee have kind of said that we fear for Barnsley going forward, and the reason for me why I did fear for him is because they've always traditionally been a team who, when they get relegated to League One, they're normally fighting at the top to get promoted, and they've normally got at least a top 10 budget. But last year it was dropped, and I think they were one of the lower, but they had one of the lowest budgets in the league in the end. I think it was around 70th highest or something like that. And I think, to be fair to Conor Hourihane, I felt he did actually a decent job. If their budget is, or wage budget or wage structure, whatever, if their budget was about 17th in the league, he managed to finish more mid-table, so he's finished above where their budget were. So actually, I was even more fearful when it was announced that Conor Hourihane was to leave Barnsley at the end of the season, because I honestly thought he was doing an okay job. I'm not saying he was doing a fantastic job, and all Barnsley fans, even though they have got a lower budget, they'd probably still expect Barnsley to at least be challenging the top 6 and getting those playoffs. But you've got to look at it from like a different, if you like, perspective, not just through a Barnsley lens. And that's just what I've seen. If they've got a budget of 17th in the league and they're finishing 12th or 13th, then I think that's almost a successful year. My club, Rotherham, they had I think a top 10 budget, and they've ended up going down. So a little bit concerning for Barnsley, and that's why I am concerned for them, because they seem to be gradually getting worse. They did obviously the first couple of seasons they were back to League One, they did get in the playoffs. I think they got to the final of one, obviously lost that, and then they lost in the semi-final as well, and then the 2 years after that. So I'm assuming Barnsley must be in their 5th season next year in League One, and like I said, it seemed to be gradually dropping down the league, and I've always said, and I think Rotherham really as well, when these clubs kind of get relegated to League One, if they don't tend to go through that first couple of seasons, they are in danger then of kind of falling in that league. And the more season they end up in there, there's the chance that they could drop further down, and there's then risk of relegation to League Two, and that's where I do think Barnsley are, or I did think that anyway. So on to the appointment of Daniel Stendel. So Daniel Stendel, his first spell as Barnsley manager was highly successful. He took over when they were in League One, I believe, and obviously just got relegated from the Championship, and he kind of instilled like a high pressing system, and he managed to get Barnsley promoted into the Championship. Now, obviously, I don't know at what point he left, but I know that it was Gerhard Struber who took over from Daniel Stendel in the following season, and obviously he did manage to keep Barnsley up in the Championship that year, obviously with that late goal against Brentford, I believe it was. History suggests that it is a good appointment for Barnsley, because he was successful at this club at this level about 5-6 years ago. My only concern is sometimes when a manager or player goes back to their club, it doesn't always work. A lot of people, a lot of fans saying never go back. Obviously it has worked in some spells. Darren Ferguson, he's gone back to Peterborough number of times, and some of the spells where he's gone back have been successful. So it does sometimes work. Obviously, Grant McCann, another example as well. At Doncaster, he's gone back and he's managed to get them promoted from League 2 into League 1, and now they stayed up this season. So again, another example there. So yeah, that is a bit of a concern, that the never go back mentality. My only concern is I actually think the game has probably changed in the last 5 or 6 years. So the high pressing style that Daniel Stendel kind of instilled into his team, will he be able to do that again this season with a lower budget? That would be my concern. Obviously, when Barnsley did come down that year, they had Kiefer Moore, who, he was probably a top-end championship player, and Barnsley managed to have him in League 1, and he was one of the main reasons why Barnsley did go up. He scored a handful of goals, and look, they've not got that now. Rather than having someone like Kiefer Moore, they've got like a David McGoldrick, who, I actually like McGoldrick. I still think that he was good last season when Rotherham played Barnsley at Oakwell, and we did a podcast, a couple of days later. I did say I was impressed by David McGoldrick, so I still think he's got the quality, but let's face it, David McGoldrick's not going to be included in the high pressing style. So, if Daniel Stendel wants to get that back into his players, then he's going to have a decent turnover in in the number of players that come in. He's obviously Barnsley's current best player, Reece Cleary. I think he'll probably leave. So a player who probably won games on his own last season, he's not going to be there. So that's another concern. So yeah, I said before that I felt that Barnsley could have a poor season, and with disappointment, even though Barnsley fans think happy with it, I still think they could have a poor season. As I said, the highlight for me is that when Stendel came in last time, Barnsley had one of the higher budgets in the division, including, as I said, a player like Kiefer Moore, who was far too good for that league. Whereas this time, they've got lower budgets in the season. Unless, let's face it, unless the club decide to back him, we don't actually know if they're going to back him or not. And if they do, then, fair enough, I believe he will be successful. But if they carry on as they are with the same budget or similar sort of budget, I think they'll lose Reece Cleary, like I said, who's their best player. There's a chance he could lose Adam Phillips, who, again, I really rate in that midfield. He scores goal like a goal scoring midfielder. He really should be higher up, either a bigger League 1 side or a lower Championship side he should be at. So, if they lose these players, unless they get the transfer recruitment absolutely spot on, I still think they'll be in trouble. Not saying they're going to go down, and I'm not going to predict anything yet with Barnsley until I see what sort of recruitment is made over the summer. We will do a preview next season, and I'll let you know where I think Barnsley will finish. But as it stands now, I'm still massively concerned, and disappointment hasn't eased my concern at all. I still think that Barnsley are looking over the shoulder rather than looking moving up the table. And that's just my thoughts, my opinion. And I thought I'd just do a quick video, like I said, talking about Daniel Stendel. I don't mind Barnsley actually as a football club. I hope they do well. South Yorkshire, if you like, rival, but I actually like Barnsley, so I actually would rather see them be successful rather than be unsuccessful. So good luck to them, and good luck to Daniel Stendel. But that's BEZ. Just a quick video on Daniel Stendel's return to Barnsley for KV Terrace Talk. Cheers, guys.